My sister demanded I give her my wedding date because she's older. My sister Diane showed up at my apartment with our parents. I'd booked my wedding venue 14 months ago for June 15th at the most exclusive garden venue in town, and Diane had just gotten engaged last week. She announced, "I'm taking your wedding date. I'm older, so I should get married first." She wasn't asking. She was telling me how it would be. I showed her my save the dates that I'd already mailed to 60 people, but she just shrugged. "That's your problem," she said. Mom immediately took her side. "Diane's been waiting longer, so you should be fair." Dad nodded along. "She's 32 and you're 28. Nobody even asked for my side of the story." I told them, "I lose $3,000 in deposits, which is my entire savings." Then Diane pulled out her phone and showed me a receipt. She'd already put a deposit down on my date that morning before even coming to ask me. "The venue needs your cancellation by tomorrow or I lose my deposit," she explained. Mom touched my shoulder. Sisters share with each other. I looked at Brooke, my fiance, who was watching from the doorway with disbelief on her face. "I'll call tomorrow," I agreed. Diane smiled. "I knew you'd be reasonable." They left talking about flowers, but Diane had no idea what reasonable would look like. I called the venue the next morning and made sure everything would work out perfectly for both of us. Diane texted at noon asking if I had canceled. I texted back, "Change things like you wanted." She sent heart emojis and immediately posted on social media, "Dreams come true. June bride at the garden venue." All her friends commented about how lucky she was, not knowing she'd stolen it from her own sister. Within a week, she had taken everything I'd planned. She called my florist saying I had recommended her, then booked my photographer after telling them I had canceled. She even ordered my exact cake design from my decorator. Every vendor I'd spent months researching was gone in days. She copied my entire Pinterest board and downloaded my wedding playlist from our shared computer. My whole wedding became hers. Then her problems started mounting. First came the guest list disaster. She invited 300 people because Troy's family was wealthy and she wanted to impress them. The problem was that Riverside Gardens only held 250, and they wouldn't make exceptions due to fire codes. She had to rent an ugly tent for $5,000 that blocked the entire garden view she wanted for photos. Her dress was the next catastrophe. She spent $8,000 on thick Italian silk that the consultant warned was meant for ballrooms, not outdoor summer weddings. June here averages 90 degrees, but she didn't care. "I know what I want," she told them. The dress was non-refundable. Then Troy's relatives turned against her. His brother's graduation was the same weekend, and his mom called to say, "We're going to the graduation instead." When Diane begged, the woman shot back, "Maybe you should have checked before stealing your sister's date." Half of them chose the graduation over the wedding. The weather forecast came in showing a record heat wave with 95 degrees for her outdoor ceremony with no shade. Wedding day was exactly what I expected. Her makeup was melting by 10 in the morning, and the dress showed sweat stains before the ceremony even started. The tent felt like an oven with guests fanning themselves and looking miserable. During the ceremony, our grandmother announced loudly, "Poor Brooke, this should have been her day." Everyone heard it and Diane's face went red, but she had to keep going with her vows while people whispered. Reception time arrived and I stood up for my speech. Diane grabbed Troy's hand when she saw me with the microphone. I began, "13 months ago, I booked this venue for this exact date with these exact vendors." Whispers started immediately. Diane asked me to move my date and I agreed to do it. She relaxed slightly until I continued. "I moved it to June 15th next year. Same venue, but 12 months later." The tent exploded with gasps as Troy ripped his hand away from her. "Every detail you see today was originally mine, from the flowers to the photographer to the cake." Our grandmother shot up. "That's theft." Troy's mother stood next. We knew something was wrong. The entire tent erupted. People were shouting and pointing and getting up from their seats. Troy stood abruptly. "You stole your sister's wedding?" he asked Diane. She was shaking now. "I didn't steal anything," but nobody was listening anymore. Troy walked out with his family right behind him. Half the guests followed immediately. The DJ cut the music. The photographer stopped taking pictures. Diane stood there in her sweat-stained dress watching her wedding fall apart. "Mine's next year," I told her. "This disaster is all yours." Troy never came back to the reception. By 9, Diane sat alone in her sweat-stained dress surrounded by empty chairs. Troy posted the next day saying, "Wedding's off and don't ask." Brooke and I got married June 15th the next year with perfect weather at the perfect venue.